What was your inspiration for this trip? And why make all this music about Mississippi? I mean, I wrote an entire album with some really moving and inspired lyrics because of the people that I met and the way that volunteers view the people who need help and the people who need help view the volunteers. And I see this film that my sister is putting together as being that bridge. And the attention getter that just because it's not on local news at 6 o'clock doesn't mean it's not still important. And why did you go to Mississippi in the first place? My goal was to A, understand why my sister was down there, and B, to kind of help her take a step back and give her some perspective. And now let's just go down a list of songs that you wrote for this album, and we'll get your thoughts on it. The fill-in-the-blank first track. Alright, the fill-in-the-blank intro is just a bunch of phone messages that people had left me, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of, you know, throw that in there. Beautiful Mississippi. What I saw about this place, this Gulf Coast community, was that the volunteers found it so important to be helping people who couldn't help themselves, and the people who needed the help were just so thankful for everything and anything that they were given. The song D'Iberville. The patron saints of D'Iberville, Ed and Irene, they are an amazing couple of people who I met who run the volunteer camp down there. And I arrived down in Mississippi and they didn't know me from, you know, a hole in the wall. They treated me like one of the family. And I thought it would be really, really important to show, through my perspective, what Ed and Irene are really trying to do down in D'Iberville. Together Forever. I think I can sum it up with a story about meeting Mr. Leroy. There was this muddy hole in the ground where his house used to be, and there were all these amazing volunteers who were willing to help rebuild his house, you know, plank by plank, brick by brick. And it didn't seem like anybody was looking for a return on their investment of time, because they really wanted to the volunteers wanted to help Mr. Leroy get back into a house, and Mr. Leroy was just happy because his family was still there on the same street where he grew up, and everybody knew everybody's business, and he had this energy about him that if you met him, you were instantly considered one of the family, and he had a smile and a handshake for everybody. This is a man who lost everything, every single thing in his world, you know, material possessions, memories, photographs, and he was just thankful for everybody and everything that they were being able to give him and get him back home again. What you haven't done. If you look at your daily life and you think about what kind of an impact you have made, I'm talking about you watching this. These volunteers, they are making an impact on people's lives directly by helping put together houses. And what you haven't done is a whole mess. It's what you haven't done, buddy. Rebuild Reality. The title means exactly what the song is about. We're trying to rebuild these people's reality. Through volunteers, you can help people who have been displaced by a storm that happened 2 years ago. You can volunteer, you can donate money, you can go down there and actually, you know, bang a hammer and nail. You can talk to Congress people, you can write your senators. What you can do is think globally and act locally. Do what you can in your community to help rebuild the reality that people don't have. Bay St. Louis. Bay St. Louis is a town on the Gulf Coast, and another town that was hit pretty hard by the Katrina. And I met A man named Galen is helping out my sister because he believes in her vision and her passion for letting the masses, the rest of the country, know that even though it's not still in the news, the people of Katrina and the Mississippi Gulf Coast are still way high on the priority list. Unfortunately, agencies like FEMA aren't really doing anything about it. Rise above. Alright, so I was in D'Iberville and I met a group of volunteers. We were out having a drink, and one of these guys thinking about what he would say to people when he got back to New York, to his real life. And I said, why don't you just say you've risen above? Because what that to me says is that no matter where or what your life is doing right now, it can't be as bad as people who have lost their homes and living in a FEMA trailer 24 months after a huge disaster in America has happened, and being able to rise above your normal little life to go and help somebody else. Where's FEMA? FEMA, you need to step it up, because there are still people who aren't in their homes and can't go home because you have not helped them enough. Thank you, Phil. This has been most informative. Thank you, and I hope this helps. I hope it makes a difference.